friends. We're looking at the Lumibricks Western Bank Heist set. I'm super excited about this one. It's set number L9097 with 2,875 pieces. And this is a full modular build. It's a fully realized standalone bank with multiple floors, multiple balconies. It even has a trap door, and much of the back of it opens up so you can access the interior. Not only that, it has explosion effects. It has a full office. It has an area for the tellers. And if that isn't enough for you, the architecture is really wonderful too. And we get 6 characters, we get a horse. And in this video, we're going to zoom in. We're going to take a look at everything. We're going to pull off the panels. We'll look at the trap doors and the other play features in there. And we'll look at the custom lighting too that it comes with. All right, ready? Starting off on the ground floor, we have the main entrance. We've got these nice pillars here, and Lumibricks is using like an off-white kind of cream color for most of this build. Here's a guy that we'll call him the bank manager. He's in front of the main doors, and he's standing up beneath the sign that says Gold Rock Bank of the West. That's what it says there with a great font use there. And let's start turning it around. You'll see here there is a small hitch for a horse. These very nice ornate windows. Good use of these gold lattice pieces for inside each of those windows. Coming around, we'll see that we do have one of these windows, and it opens up. And as you're thinking about the robbery that's going to happen here, that is one main point of weakness, is having a window on that floor that opens up. The battery box happens to be here. We've got 3 AA batteries inside with an on and off switch underneath, and we can flip that on and off. You see the lights just went off on the inside. All right, and then one of our first features is this one right here. This wall, this box here says explosives. It's got a little graphic here. Everything is printed, and there's a plunger. And when you hit that plunger, it gives the bad guys an opportunity to blow a hole in the wall. I mean, it's so cool. And this is nicely shaped, and it's just pushing this little piece right there, causing it to push the wall out. And this is what holds it in, is that one little stud. So you push it in, we can do it again. Bam! So they blow a hole in the wall. That's part of the possible narrative there. What that gives them access to, you can reveal pulling that panel off, and you can see that it's like a secure room. It's the room before you get to the safe. And so you've got this really big safe door with the wheel, and that door actually has a moving lock to it. So you can turn it and it'll also open it up and unlocks that safe. And you see off to the side here, there's a ladder, some suggestion of some storage and just really the important stuff in that dark green right there. And that ladder goes up to the next floor. And let's take a look at what's on the other side of this safe. It's actually accessible by pulling off this entire panel. So let's pull that panel off. That gives us access to a couple areas. It gives us access to the safe itself. So this is the interior of the safe. And let's see that door in action. You see that little, I don't know what you'd call it. There's like a lock in place. It's turnable with the door, with the safe door. So as I turn it, that comes up, and then I can then swivel the door open, and then the door will open. So now you have access to the safe correctly, right? So maybe the bank robbers they're gonna pick it. I'm not sure, but the bounty inside is pretty cool. Let's take a look. We can slide it out. It lets you pull that out. If you want to just steal it all in one go, you can. But I just love this display of treasure here, right? These gold bricks, the gold color is very nice. And then this stack of cash is a very convincing, multifaceted stack of cash in this dark green. And they don't use Legos normal green there, or I think they even use a potentially a brighter green is what Lego's using. But here, using this kind of dark green is really wonderful. And notice some of these cash stacks have paper like wrappers to keep them all together, and some don't. And then there's, just in case there's any confusion about this being valuable, there's a purple gem on the very top of it. So definitely super valuable. And I like the use of these tiles there. And then it's got a slotted brick that lets you easily pull it in and out. Next to it is a prison area, and it's actually quite a big trap. And this trap is accessible, or it's part of the trapdoor system from the second floor, and we'll show that in a minute. But notice that there's these really dangerous spikes along the wall and the floor, so it's not a pleasant place to fall into, and that's exactly what some of the bad guys are going to do. Above the safe, you'll see, it's a little bit hard to tell, but there's actually a tiny gem above the safe, and there's a rat above the safe. And so a little bit hard to see. Let's see if we can kind of make out a black rat right there. And then he's got a jewel that he's playing with as well. So those are a little bit of an Easter egg kind of hidden there at the top. As we come around, there's one more room, and this room I think of as the sheriff's office. So this is a secure room, and there's a illustration or a photograph on the wall. There is a door that leads to the jail area, and there's handcuffs there along the back. There's a nicely built chair for the sheriff. He's got his own desk. He's got a shotgun laying on that desk, along with a nicely built out light, maybe like a desk oil lamp that's there for him. And he's got his own view out of these really nice ornate windows. And he's got his own door that leads to the main floor. All right, let's keep turning it around. More of these amazing architectural windows along the side there. Now, this entire front actually comes off. And once you do that, it reveals the interior. And this is what you'd see as a customer coming into the bank. You would see the kind of secure area where all the tellers are behind all of those bars. And there is a barred area to just prevent anybody from walking back there. And we will take the roof off so we can get a better look as well. There is a very long bench here for people to sit on. And then you can see that back there are steps that take you up to the second floor. Nice use of gold here, and these croissant pieces make it a little bit more fancy. And it says cashier right there. And then back in the back there, you can see the door to the sheriff's office, and it also says sheriff. Here we are on the second floor, and you can see that there is a bank guard, or maybe it's the sheriff, but I think based on his hat, he's probably a guard. And my figure has one of these pith helmets, but his printing is actually backwards. So I might contact Lumibricks about that. But anyway, he's up there keeping track of what's going on that balcony. And he's got his own door as well. And it opens up like that. And we can take this entire balcony off. We can also remove this panel. Gives us access to that second floor, and we can see what's inside there. It looks like there's some literature and some stacks there. There's a lounge, a place to sit, two little armchairs, coffee table. There's a table on the side. I had some leftover cash, so I went ahead and made a bundle and left it there on the floor. On the side here, there's a bust as well as another chair. This one is a more fancy one, a little more like a love seat. And there's a door that goes to the back area over there. And what else we got? Yeah, there's quite a few things going on. There's another door that leads to this balcony right here. And we can keep on going around. There is one more panel. This one folds open. So this is the top of the stairs that we saw on that bottom floor there. this is this where the stairs come up, and then it goes to this nice kind of not a recreational, but a kind of a maybe a rest area, or maybe this is a more fancy of an office, something like that. I like the railing, the use of those gold pieces there for the railing. Coming around to this side, this panel here also just lifts out, and this gives you access to, I think we'll call this the bank manager's office, right? So he's got a lot of books behind him, a huge bookshelf there, and he's got his own desk. He's got a phone, he's got the newspaper, and he's got a pen and some ink so we can write with. And then he's got these portraits, potentially of important people in the town, or maybe they're other bank managers that they've had. On the shelf there, he's got a couple of items there. And then this is another smaller safe. Let's pull that out here. And pulling out this safe, you'll see it's got a locking mechanism, and it opens up. And when you open it up, it has a couple of jewels on the inside. So that's what he's got for his own personal safe within the manager's office. And he's also got a couple surprises. So up here in the bookshelf, there is a something hidden. I'm going to use these tweezers since it's so hard to get to. Oop. All right, I got that yanked out. It has a little book, and the book opens up. A little decoration there. And hidden on top of the book is a revolver. So you're told to put it in there like that in the instructions. So the book goes in the top shelf there, boop, right in that, and then you hide that revolver right on top of it. So there's a chance for him to fight back. There's a hat and a coat rack in the back. And he's got even more surprises. And so we'll show you that right now. So let's say you got one of the bad guys. Let's pick one. Let's say this is our bad guy. And he's standing here and he's all stick him up. And the bank manager is here behind his desk. Well, the bank manager can pull his drawer open and the bad guy will fall down. And where he falls is that area down there, which is the prison area. So let's do that again. Let's reset it. So to reset it, all we need to do is I lift that part up, push the drawer back in. We can put the bad guy back in here like that. All right, and then we just pull the drawer out. Boom, he falls down into it. And he'll stay there for sure. So he's going to be down here hanging out for a while. And the sheriff can keep an eye on him until they decide to let him out. But yeah, that is a pretty cool feature. It is something I haven't seen in a while, a nice little trap door. I think that's a nicely done trap door. Check that out too. The front of that desk comes out so that you can reset it from up here. Oh yeah. So it's a very simple little mechanism, pretty nicely done. Okay, and then turning around, we've got one more balcony, and this balcony, they tell you to add this rope to the side of it. So you can think of one of the bad guys as climbing up through here. And there are just so many opportunities for them to get in. And there's so many ways for them to get in. And there's also another one that we're going to look at soon, which is on the roof. So we'll take a look at that too. But yeah, you could just get in through here and access the manager's office. All right, so we've looked at the entire second floor. Let's look at the roof real quick. Here we are on the second floor. There's this beautiful sign. It's got a perfect light that is downcast right onto the sign itself. These gold pieces make for a really nice ornate decoration around that sign. And the sign itself has these supports like you would find in the real world because it's so vertical, it needs to be supported. So I like that they did that. A couple of barrels that are up there. And then check this out. There is this door. So this is the roof access. And you can open this up and it leads to a ladder. And when we take the roof off, we can take a look at where that goes. One of the coolest features of this set is the ability to swap out this panel here for an explosion. So let's do that. This is a window. The panel comes out and there is a small connector right there with 2 pins. It's an electrical lighting connector. And you've got this, which is built up with orange, trans red. It's even got a little bit of a leftover windows that were not broken, but the windows are important because it's your way to pinch and hold it, but you just slide it in like that and you push it in far enough and it connects the connector. And now we've got light. So check that out. The light is brilliant. And this is the first time I've seen a brick built explosion. I mean, we've seen on some of Lego sets, like I'm thinking some of the Marvel buildings where you see brick built explosions or dust clouds, but the second you add light to it, wow, look at that. It's just so cool. And the light that they've added here is this circular ring LED. So it's a bunch of LEDs in a circular pattern, and you just stick it right there onto one of the pieces. I've seen that that light element a couple other places. I saw it on the ore train, right at the front of the ore train. It's a great way to create a lot of light in a circular pattern. And the light emanates out of each of these translucent tubes as well. So really cool. Love that, Lumibricks. We hope to see more of that in the future. Here's a look with the roof removed. Here's the roof, just comes off like that. You'll leave behind those 2 little shapes that remind me of pumpkin pie. And we saw that access panel on the roof there. As a reminder, here's that access panel, right? So once you lift that up, what you get to is this closet with a ladder in it. So this ladder in the closet is just there to give you access to the roof. So another great way to either get into the building or to escape from the building, depending on what you're trying to do. And then it gives you another look at this kind of living room / like break room area in here. And it's got a number as well on there. I think it says 0422, and it's got a train. That's what's on there. You get a look at how they handle the lighting. So they have these almost like structural beams with these overhead lights that cast light downwards. And that is the right way to do it. The light is so much more realistic because Lumibricks has done it that way. And then you can see the little more detail of that magazine or book stand there for people to read things. Here's the door to the bank manager. It says investments, which means that the entire floor maybe is for the more well-heeled clients of the bank, maybe. So they get their own dedicated waiting area and some reading literature. And then above the door says manager. And so you know that's the manager's office. You go through there and then you get into his office. And this is the office that is pretty well defended, right? So he's got his own trap door. He's got his own safe. He's got a little bit of a jewel there. It says here, Democratic candidates is what that little newsletter says. And then he's also got a little thing that says ticket on it as well. Here's a better look at the rest of his office, including that bookcase. And then since we're here, let's pull the trap door again, huh? It's so much fun. Boom. Let's take the second floor off and look at the first floor. All right, so here we are on the first floor. I've removed the second floor. And so here's that cashier booth that we saw a little bit earlier. But now we can get behind it and we can see the detail that's there. So you see that there is a pen with a quill. There is a cash register, as well as, I think these are scales right there as well, in case you're weighing somebody's deposit of gold. There is an open book. It says Gold Rock Bank on that book. There we see it right there. There's a $5 or 5-cent piece. There is another book here. Maybe that's a ledger of some kind with another quill to record things. We've got a gold brick laying on the ground there. Let's see if we can. Yeah, so there's a gold brick on the desk, not on the ground, but there's a gold brick there on the desk, as well as a key hanging up on the wall. And you can see the cashier's chair, which is a nice luxurious build. You can almost looks like it's leather of some kind. Behind the cashier, we've got a bookshelf, and that bookshelf even has some cash in it on the top there, as well as other things along the bottom. The area here has a bunch of things with handles on them. I'm not sure what that is. It could be safe deposit boxes. That could be what that is right there along the wall. And there's a sconce, and you get a better look at the door where you can get access to that cashier area. And then the door to the sheriff's area, you have better access to his. Since we're here, you can see this is how Lumibricks is transferring power between the floors without the wiring getting in the way, or without you being required to remove wiring in order to remove the floors. So taking the floors off is actually quite easy. I like that they added one light right here. So the light is flowing downwards, and it's lighting that entire cashier area very nicely. There is one more door here, and this is the door that leads to the safe. So it goes from here out to this safe area. So this is the safe that we saw earlier. It's still open, and here's the door. Here's the safe. We've got an entire upright cabinet of drawers. So each of these drawers can pull open, and you can put things inside of them. So you could hide a gun or things like that. And here is more of these safe deposit boxes, if that's what that is. I'm not 100% sure what that is. And one of the ladders is here as well. And I'm not sure what that lines up to on the second floor, where that ladder goes. I think what this ladder does, it does not access the next level. Instead, this is a ladder, I think, for you to reach these particular objects. We'll go with safe deposit boxes. So it's to help you reach these safe deposit boxes on the upper levels. And then we get a better look at the rat, as well as the jewel that he's got. And you can see that they've used some sloping pieces here so that when the trapdoor is activated, the person slides down and into the area. Poor guy down there. Sorry, buddy. And what else we got? We got the sheriff's office. So there's a better look at the sheriff's office. He's got his own door that leads into there. A decoration on the wall. And he's got a door there as well. So I did see one more door that I don't think I saw before, which is right here. There's this door that leads under the stairs. So that's where that goes. So that might be some kind of a storage area, or maybe we can think of that as a hiding area. But as far as I can tell, there's nothing back there. It's actually an empty space. So maybe a bad guy can hide back there for a while. I don't know. But yeah, that they needed to do something with that space. So it's an actual open area. Here's a look at everything kind of opened up, everything that can be pulled off or removed, pulled apart. And so you've got the roof, second floor, bottom floor, and some of the other panels that come off. A lot of opportunities here to play with it, open it up, and figure out how you want to tell your story. Here's a look at the character lineup, all 6 characters, including the horse. Right here, we've got one of our bad guys. I believe he's a bad guy, but maybe he's like a decoy or a customer inside, but they tell you to put a gun in his hand. So I'm guessing he's a bad guy. And another one of the guys who I'm pretty sure is a bad guy. He's just got that vibe to him. And then next to him, I'm going to call him our manager. He's got his 3-piece suit on. And then we've also got another character right there. Almost looks like a bad guy because of the ponytail, but he could be a cashier. I don't really know. That's up to you. We've got our guard, security guard there, and he's also got a revolver. And as I mentioned, his printing on the back of that helmet needs to be on the front of that helmet. So I think there's something going on there. All right, and then looking at our guy on the horse, he is masked, and so he's definitely a bad guy. And he's got a cool horse with the printed features on that horse. a pretty good face for the horse as well. And look at that, even printing right there on the front of its head. You can pose that horse if you'd like to as well. So, final thoughts. I think this is an excellent, amazing set. I'm not into Western. I haven't. This is my first Western thing from Lumibricks, and man, it is an amazing piece. It is a standalone thing that has just so much character, so much opportunity for play, and to think about how this heist is happening. And there's just so many ways to get into the building, which is amazing. And once you get into the building, there's story and narrative, such as there could be a decoy explosion like this one here. There could be that's covering up the real explosion, which is this one that leads to the safe. There could be an inside man. There could be somebody climbing up through here. There could be somebody climbing in through the roof. There could be somebody hiding overnight inside. I mean, there's just so many ways to tell this story of how this bank gets robbed. And you get a chance here to create a legendary story for how that happens. And there's 6 characters, so there's plenty of opportunity to give everybody a role in either the robbing of this bank or the defense of this bank. So really great job. Good job, Lumibricks. I think you've knocked it out of the park with this one. And it took me a while to build and get the review up, because I was just like, man, there is so much to cover here. But I'm glad we went through this together, and I hope you found this video enjoyable. If you like it, please hit like, and if you subscribe, that helps me a lot, and it lets me keep finding sets, building sets, and sharing them with all of you. All right, thanks so much.